Welcome back to Hodgepodge. Today I'm in the practice studio of upstate New York-based band Heretofore in Fulton, New York. Guys, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having us, Ryan.
How did the name come to be?
The name came to be Heretofore. It pretty much, by definition, means up to this point. And that's what we feel, all of our experience musically, us being friends, and our experience in life, it all kind of comes together and gets channeled back out through our instruments. And that's why Heretofore. It's everything up to this point. Yep.
Gotcha. And was that an early on decision or something that formed over time?
I think, if I remember correctly, we were still writing the first song, and you came in with, how about this for a band name? And we liked it, and we stuck with it. So,
have you always been practicing in this space?
Yes. Right? We've always been here. I don't think we've ever had another practice space.
No, without
this has been it. Even in previous bands, this has always been the space. So, yeah.
How long have you been together now as a band?
Going on 3 years, or just in and about 3 years. We've played together in the past, but for this project, yeah, 3 solid.
How long have you been playing together in total?
Well, boy, that brings us back a ways. So, like 1999, I think, was the first time Mark had me play some guitar, and we wrote some short pieces that ended up being background music on WRVO. It was my very first 15 seconds of fame. And then fast forward to 2005 was when we formed GARC, and we did that for about 3 years, and then did some other things, and then came back together in 2013-ish.
What inspired the name GARC?
It's just Galen and Mark squished together.
Gotcha. That was your previous band name?
Yeah, that was a band we had before, a power rock duo. Yep.
Gotcha. So you've been playing together most of your lives, you would say?
I think that is technically most of my life now, yeah. That is true. Yeah,
a long life to live.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some significant breaks in there, but I mean, yeah, I met you when I was younger than 20, and I'm 40 now. So, yeah, yep.
Yeah, so on and off, but this is, I think, we've always had fun, but probably the thing we're most proud of now, because we've evolved, Yeah.
Was there a lineup change along the way?
Never. It's always been the two of us. When the GARC thing ended, I was in another band called Adam Hadam for about 5 years. Galen was in other projects. Someone asked us to do a GARC reunion, so we practiced for 2 months for it, and then it was the last practice, and we were like, you know what? We're still play really well together. Let's start something new. So it's just been the two of us for the 3 years.
We used to, back when we had GARC, we constantly got asked about adding a bassist, and we don't get asked that anymore, so I say that's definitely an evolution.
They just accept it at this point.
They just accept it.
It's not going to happen. How does the writing work out?
The writing happens, and you could, of course, throw in. It's usually we get finished with a song, and then we kind of close our eyes and let our hands move around. It sounds really terrible and awful at first, but maybe I'll come up with a drum part, so I'll kind of loop that over and over. Or Galen will do the same, and oftentimes you'll write at home and bring something to the table.
Yeah, typically things kind of evolve naturally here. We're always kind of rolling tape, which is something Mark introduced me to as a practice tool, and I would never do it differently now because you just capture that little moment of magic, and I like this part, and you listen back, and we decide kind of what we like, and what do we call it, Fancy Lab? We we get in there and really work apart, and usually once that process has started, yeah, quite often I'll go home and come in and have an idea for what the next guitar part or some lyrics are, and we'll work that, and then it's kind of a organic process.
Gotcha.
It's very, very democratic, though. We both come from different backgrounds musically, even though we played for a while, and our tastes, while a lot similar, they're different too. So that's kind of neat. We challenge each other like that in the writing, and we can have suggestions for each other, but it's never, I hate that, or I don't like this, I'm not going to work with it. It's always like, if it's not something we're used to, it's more of a challenge, and we try to make it work.
How would you describe your genre?
We call it adventure rock.
Yeah.
And
there.
we absolutely made up the genre, because that's one of the toughest questions any band has, and it's hard for any band, even if they are a facsimile of another, because of their perception of their music, find it too difficult to put into words exactly what it is or what genre it is. So we made ours up because we feel like it is that journey that we take, and hopefully people take it with us, kind of deal.
You know, and it started out also. We don't necessarily do this anymore, but with the beginning songs, we really did think of it as a narrative. I mean, every part was like, okay, you know, we have a song, Manifest of the Golden Queen, and there was a whole, even though, you know, there's only so many lyrics, every aspect of it tells a different part of the story. There's a part where a ship breaks down and there's a drowning, and, you know, like, so we used to have really a narrative, like it always told the story of an adventure, and a lot of our titles come from, you know, some of them from old radio plays, adventures. So it's kind of a philosophy about how to write as much as it is a genre.
So what is in the works for 2017?
We're working toward our next release. We're 5-6 songs in, something like that. Booking shows. We got kind of a bigger booking for May. We're going to be playing with a 90s alt rock band, which is still playing and still working hard, Local H. That's happening in May. And really, right now, during the cold months, we've lucked out with the weather, and, you know, barring talking about the weather, we usually use this time to write. You know, so it's writing time, trying to push toward that goal of having enough songs to get another record.
Yeah, the last album was 8, and with the length of our songs, which we love 5 minutes and 40 seconds. That tends to be like, you know, the anchor point of most of our songs. So 8, it definitely makes an album. So we're getting close.
Gotcha. If we want to check you guys out, where do we go? To Bandcamp?
Heretoforemusic.bandcamp.com. We're on Facebook as well, and just type in Heretofore Music on YouTube, and there's live stuff of us there, and some stuff of us, you know, like this interview, taking ourselves very seriously.
You know, and by all means, check all that out. The actual physical CD has a really cool comic book as part of it, so we highly recommend picking that up if you're serious.
So, as always, the links will be in the video description below. If you like them, go check them out. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Check out my other videos and subscribe.